Hello Internet, this is Dakian. It's a Monday, so I'm going to ramble about miniatures. Specifically, it's Monday the 18th of March 2019. And you can see here that I've painted quite a lot. I have finished all of these infected villagers, and there's 11 of them. And, well, oops, sorry. I hit the tripod. We can talk a little bit about each one. This guy is possibly... This is the chest burster. He's got tentacles coming out of his chest. I wasn't sure what the thing on his head was. I painted it like a kind of metal visor. I'm not sure if that's what it's supposed to be, but... Oh well. Here we have a proper lady in a nice dress. And I actually used some purples and pinks on her skirt, a little bit to mirror the color of the tentacles. But the tentacles are, I don't know if you can tell, I put really bright light on it, and maybe everything shines. But there's gloss varnish on the tentacles on each of these minis, but matte varnish, or Army Painter matte, which is sort of semi-matte, on everything else. And here's another guy with a lot of stuff coming out of his chest. I painted him dark as a contrast. This poor guy has just had his hand affected. That's him. Oh, another guy with both hands. This guy apparently has problems with his head, so it's wrapped up and there's a few little tentacles poking out. That's all of it. Here's probably the maid of that lady, who has just a big face tentacle. She's trying to hide her face because she can't. Doesn't want to show it. Well. This guy has his arm turned into a tentacle and it's trying to strangle him. That's unfortunate. Here we have probably a rich dude. He's very well dressed and his whole face is turning into massive tentacles. Otherwise he's fine. He's mostly okay. This guy seems fine. Well, his back is hurting him, and so the tentacles have poked holes in his tunic a few places. Other places it's just bulging out from the inside. And the last guy, he's got a crutch. Does he have a peg leg? No, he's got tentacle leg. He can't really walk on this thing. And yeah, so good collection of stuff finished. 11 minis, very good. One reason I actually got so much work done was I did something new. Rather, my friendly local game store has started a new thing where they have painting evenings on Monday evenings. Not just painting evenings. They call it Magic Miniature Monday. They set up some tables for players of Magic the Gathering and some tables for miniature painters, and so we sort of share the space. And for a nominal fee, you get to get a table space, and you can borrow some paint and most of the material you need. All you really have to bring are your minis and your own brushes. Now, I bring a few more tools than that because there are certain things I like to use. Like my wet palette, for instance. I'm going to start bringing that. And yeah, and it's fun. It's a few hours where you can sit down and paint, really focused, not distracted by anything else, except, chewing the fat with other painters. And I found that very enjoyable. So I'm going to keep going there, probably, and bring a few minis every Monday night and paint them along with others. A little bit more social than painting usually is. And, well, that's going to lead to some... Well, I'll talk about that later. Let's move on to projects indoors. So on the painting table, these dragons are coming along. See, very red. I've been trying out my new airbrush, and it took me a while to realize how everything worked with it. It's a little bit different from my old one. But I primed these, I put on something of a base coat. It didn't cover very well. So this is a second base coat, or perhaps undercoat, or shade layer of a very dark red. Very thin down, so it's not covering completely all the scales, but it gets into the deeper spots, which is what I want. And I'm going to give it successive dry brushes of lighter and lighter reds to bring it up, and then of course paint all the non-red parts as well. And put down also a dark brown base coat on the bases. And here is the smallest dude. This one, the red wormling, seems to me is slightly larger than the others, the other color wormlings from Reaper. I don't know, maybe it's because he's standing up. Looks bigger. Anyway, fun projects. Happy to be painting dragons. They're always a large part of D&D, of course. And over here we have mostly just primed, but with some dark brown on the bases. These normal villagers, not mutated at all, just everyday townsfolk from that Reaper box set. And yeah, they're just, ready to start getting some paint on them. And it'll probably, as I mentioned, painting nights. Tonight when I go to the store, I'll bring some of these to paint. The dragons are, they're too big and clumsy to carry it around. I will. I can show you. I like to not carry around too much stuff. Travel light, and so I've gotten this little box, which is for ordinary human-sized 25mm or 28mm miniatures. You can fit 14 of them in this thing. Or I have actually cut some slots here in the foam, so if need be I can sort of push down a larger size mini in here. But not much more than like twice human sized. It'll be, yeah. So, yeah. They're, just ordinary humans. I'll paint them with my standard techniques. Not an issue. So for coming projects, I've been thinking a little bit out of the box. See, this concept of the painting nights on Mondays has really caught hold of my imagination, and as perhaps a venue where I can do different projects. See, last week I brought a bunch of minis and I painted a little bit on each of them, and this is what I'll be doing tonight as well this week. But for coming weeks, what I thought is, what if I just bring one mini, maybe two, have one as a backup, and just try to paint it start to finish. See if I can do that in an evening, because I'm there for like 3 to 4 hours maybe. 3 to 4 hours of focused painting, will that be enough to bring one mini to a quality that I'm happy with? So I tried to think of what could be my next project for this, and I have this base which I sort of built last time I was painting some hassle-free minis just a few weeks ago. So I thought, well, what can I put on this base? And I found in my pile of unpainted stuff another hassle-free mini. This one is called Conran, and if you can see, he's kind of a geriatric barbarian. He's kind of like Terry Pratchett's Cohen the Barbarian. An old dude, but still with his helmet and loincloth and a big axe. And I think he will fit. I'll cut off the tab, or rather file down the tab two nubs and use them as pins to insert on this base. And I think he's not that complicated. It's a little bit of skin, some metal, some fur. Not a big deal. Not that many different areas, not that many different colors needed. And I can probably get him done in an evening, I think. I hope. I plan. That's what I'm going to do. So I'll prep him. I'll clean him up, assemble, and prime him before, because we can't at the gaming night, the painting night at the store, can't have airbrush work or rather can work being done, you know. So it has to be primed before I get there, unless I want to brush prime it. But you know, in any case, I always let primer dry and set for about a day before I start putting normal paint on it. So yeah, I'll do that, prime it the day before. And we'll see. But I'm probably gonna need some more project to work on at home as well. And for that, I think it's time for more monsters. So I picked up yet another Reaper box set. I'm almost done with all my Reaper box sets now. This one is called the Court of Abyss. It's like a big demon. And I've shown you this before when I first bought it. But as a reminder, what it is 5 demons or devils. Take your pick. 4 of which are sort of human-sized. 1 is much larger. And when I first looked at this box, and I was also thinking, ooh, let's do some special bases. I have some resin sort of demon hellscape bases I can use for them. But then I opened it up and was reminded that they all have pretty solid integral bases, big lumps of metal, and I could saw them off, but it would be a real hassle, and I don't think it would be worth the trouble, honestly. I'll just mount these on, and these 4 fit more or less on 25mm bases. As I said, this one needs something a bit larger. Oh, and I found all the wings. I think there's one, all except one of these have wings, and there's 4 sets of wings here. Last time I showed you this, I wondered where one of the sets of wings was, but it was it slipped underneath this foam. Yeah, and sadly these bases are kind of boring. They're just this pebbly surface, which I suppose is supposed to represent dirt. So we'll have to say that these demons or devils are not in hell or the abyss. They have actually come to the prime material plane, and they're sort of wandering around Earth, or, well, Earth equivalents, Greyhawk or Forgotten Realms, if you're into that sort of thing. Maybe I'll probably try to add some texture, other texture to the bases, and there's not much space on them, but if I can find some way to spice it up, I will. Anyway, lots of heavy metal. This is a big solid chunk of demon here. Wow. And adding the big wings, I think these biggest wings are his as well. Oh man. These are actually pretty light. They're thin, they're pewter, but this guy, whew, hefty. Don't want to drop this on somebody's toes. Anyway, lots to do, lots to see. And it's going to be an exciting week in Adventures in Painting. But I will see you 7 days from now. Same place, same time, same channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Click like, subscribe, share, comment, all that usual stuff. And I'll see you next time. Till then, I'm Dakiyan, and I'm signing off.